The Billionaire and the Boy, Training a Rich Mentality. Most people think wealth begins with money. But the old billionaire knew something different. Money comes after the mind is trained. This is the story of an old billionaire and a young boy whose life changed, not from a gift of cash, but from daily lessons that rewired his thinking forever. What you're about to hear is not motivation. It is mental training. And if you listen closely, you may realize the boy is you. The meeting. Every evening, just before sunset, the old man sat on the same wooden bench outside his quiet estate. His clothes were simple. No jewelry. No signs of excess. Yet behind those calm eyes was a man worth billions. Across the dusty road, a boy passed by daily, barefoot, school bag torn, mind full of questions life had already forced him to ask too early. The boy had noticed the man many times. Not because he looked rich, but because he looked peaceful. One evening, the boy finally stopped. The billionaire smiled and invited him to sit. That was the beginning. Not of a friendship, but of a training. The first lesson, rich think daily. The old man did not start with money. He started with a warning. Poor mentality is not about poverty, he explained. It is about what you practice every day without knowing it. The boy listened. The billionaire explained that rich people do not think once and succeed. They train their thinking daily, just like muscles. Every morning, the mind either grows or decays. Poor mentality wakes up reacting to life. Rich mentality wakes up directing life. The boy learned his first rule. Your daily thoughts become your permanent future. Daily training, control your morning. The billionaire explained that mornings decide destinies. Poor mentality wakes up and checks problems. Checks messages. Checks excuses. Rich mentality wakes up and checks direction. The old man taught the boy a simple daily practice. Every morning, before speaking to anyone, ask, what am I building? What am I learning? What problem can I solve today? Not someday. Today. Because rich mentality is trained in small daily focus, not big dreams. Daily training, how you see problems. The boy believed problems were enemies. The billionaire corrected him. Problems, he said, are raw materials. Poor mentality asks, why is this happening to me? Rich mentality asks, what is this teaching me? The old man explained that every billionaire he knew had faced failure. But none of them allowed failure to educate them emotionally. Instead, they studied it like a teacher. The boy learned that rich mentality does not panic. It analyzes. Daily training, language discipline. The billionaire then spoke about words. Not vocabulary, but mental language. Poor mentality says, I can't. It's hard. People like me don't succeed. Rich mentality removes those phrases. Not because of positivity, but because language trains the brain. The boy was taught to replace. I don't have, how can I create? I failed, I learned. I'm unlucky, I'm early. Every day, the boy practiced speaking wealth into his thinking, even before wealth arrived. Daily training, money is a tool, not a god. The boy assumed rich people loved money. The billionaire laughed. He explained that poor mentality worships money. Rich mentality commands money. Money follows value. It does not chase desperation. The boy learned that chasing money makes you blind. Building value makes you powerful. Every day, the billionaire asked him, if money disappeared today, what skill would save you? That question alone changed the boy's focus forever. Daily training, environment, diet. The old man spoke about friends, music, conversations, and content. Poor mentality consumes anything. Rich mentality selects carefully. What you listen to daily becomes your belief system. The boy was taught to reduce noise. Less gossip. Less complaining. Less comparison. And increase input. Skills. Stories of growth. Silence for thinking. Silence, the billionaire said, is where rich ideas are born. Daily training, time respect. The billionaire said something that shocked the boy. Poor mentality wastes time without enjoying it. Rich mentality enjoys time without wasting it. Every day, the boy was trained to treat time like money. Not rushing. Not laziness. But intentional living. Every hour must either rest the mind, grow the mind, build value. Anything else was theft from his future. The final test. One evening, the billionaire did not appear. Days passed. Then weeks. The boy continued the routines. One day, a letter arrived. Inside were simple words. If you are still training your mind daily, you no longer need a teacher. The boy realized the greatest wealth he received was not money. It was mental independence. Ending the lesson. Years later, the boy returned to that bench. Now a grown man. Calm. Focused. Building. He understood what the billionaire meant. Rich mentality is not inherited. It is trained daily. Silently. Patiently. Relentlessly. And that training begins the moment you decide to think differently. Every single day. Final message to viewer. If this story reached you, it's because your mind is ready. Train it daily. And wealth will eventually follow.